Whoa. Welcome, everyone, to the Heroes World Quarantine Podcast. This is our one-shot quick review of the TV show Naomi, which is now available to you in Canada on Showcase or on whatever streaming platform you have.
I found it on Stack TV. If you have the Stack TV extension on your Amazon Prime, it popped up.
Awesome. So thank you. So here we are. We're going to give our general thoughts. Not going to go spoilers because it's the pilot episode. We have talked so much that pilots are really the most important episode of a series because it's supposed to draw you in, bring you to invest you into the universe, get you to care about the characters, and push you to continually watching more. So my question, John Ho, to you, of course, is did that do it? Did the first episode draw you in? Are you interested?
As far as first episodes, like I don't know if we would compare this to. Is it considered on CW?
Yes,
CW airs it, but is
yes,
it considered
it is.
under the umbrella in that universe?
It's not.
No, it's not part. It's outside of the Arrowverse.
Okay, yeah. Well, in regards to CW shows, it is kind of like along those lines. I did get kind of a Smallville vibe to it because of the small town setting of it. And I think overall, I did enjoy it. It wasn't a show that I would be looking like this particular comic book character. Not really one of the ones on my radar, right? Or on my pull list, if you want to use that terminology from the comic shop.
Yep.
But they do a good job of finding new, younger talent, I think, for these shows. So like the main girl, I think Casey Walfall or something like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I thought she did a good job. She was charming. And the show looks good. So I think you should at least give the first episode a chance if you're into these types of shows.
Well, Brian Michael Bendis, of course, based on his creation, Ava DuVernay, who was tapped to one time do a very big movie for DC.
New Gods.
Thank you, Rob. I was going to say that. No longer happening.
Not to be confused with Grumpy Old Gods. No? Grumpy Old Men? No? Fine.
There's no problem with the audio, everybody. That should have sounded crickets because John's joke completely bombed.
Hey, I don't know.
That's true. You do not.
Anyway, so Rob.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on episode 1 being that this is a comic property that's now transferred over to the movie television portion of the world?
Yeah, listen, I enjoyed it. This comic is relatively new. I think it only came out the first issue like 5 or 6 years ago. So it's been a pretty quick turnaround from the comic first dropping and this character being involved in the DC comic world. I never read the comic. My first introduction to her was like, I think it was Action Comics 1018 or 12 or whatever. And she is in like a 2 or 3 episode arc with Superman. But I was intrigued enough to want to watch this pilot episode, and it, you know what, like it was an hour. It didn't disappoint me. Like I quite enjoyed it. I was like, hey, this is pretty cool. Listen, guys, I'm a 45-year-old man. This is outside my realm of. I'm not the target audience for this whatsoever. But that being said, I found enough that I enjoyed it. I'm actually. I'm definitely going to watch episode 2 when it comes out next week. I'll record the first little bit. We'll see how it goes. Sometimes, once they kind of start to see the strings and everything else behind, you're like, oh, it's not really. Listen, how many shows have we reviewed where we're like, oh, the first episode's great, second episode was great, and then all of a sudden it's a steaming pile of shit. WandaVision. So. But for now,
your opinion.
For now,
the views of Rob do not reflect
Rob.
the views of both John and Stu.
But for now, this first episode, I think it did a very good job. I quite enjoyed it, and I'm definitely look forward to seeing episode 2.
It is a show that's based in Portland, Oregon, however, filmed in Atlanta, so it is different than the CW one. Mm-hmm. For sure that I looked around, I'm like, what kind of Vancouver landmarks can I see? And there is nothing to be had. Right. It is a unique take because most of these shows now are saying the superhero name in front outside of Arrow. Arrow was the first, but like, we can't put Green Arrow in the title. We'll just change it to Arrow. And then thus the Flash, Supergirl, Legends,
Black Lightning.
So it's interesting that she has a superpower name and they didn't refer to it. I guess if they used it, it would be really weird. John, do you know what that superhero name is?
We can't hear you. What'd you say,
John's
John?
muted.
Oh.
He's muted on
There you
purpose
go.
because he's like, I don't know what it is.
Am I
I got
muted?
nothing.
Yeah, I can hear you now.
That's weird. Oh, Powerhouse. Isn't it?
Yes, it is correct. I was hoping
Yeah,
you'd
yeah,
say
yeah,
I got
yeah.
nothing.
Her
Yeah.
opening book was just called Naomi. So by calling her Naomi, like a lot of people just know her as that name.
Yeah.
And this was one of the early spec books. Like when people
Mhm.
started buying up comics thinking they were going to appear in something. I don't know how early on this was established that it was going to become a TV show, but the first issue skyrocketed in value. It was going for like double, triple,
Yeah.
$20-$40 and more at one point. And then variants were going for big money. So this is kind of funny that this is one of the early spec books and now it's actually a TV show now. So I'm interested to see how that affects the value of those books. So
Well, no, it was co-created by Brian Michael Bendis, who co-created Miles Morales. So I think we also have to, a lot of people were like, oh, if he's creating this is his creation as soon as he jumped ship from Marvel to DC, right?
Yep.
So he, people were probably going, oh, let's just grab his stuff because you never know what's going to happen. Look at what he did with, striking gold with the Miles Morales character, right? So
yeah, no, I remember early on people were like,
Yeah.
she's being announced as a potential big player in the DCU coming up. So and shout outs to Jamal Campbell who did the art, beautiful art, a local Canadian guy, I believe.
And
Yeah,
I think we should also mention, Barry Watson. The return of Barry Watson from Seventh Heaven. All right. Now, all you 90s CW kids, well, before it was CW and it was UPN or whatever, or the WB. Barry Watson has returned and he plays Naomi's adoptive father. And that just makes the show much better for me, John. I'm not going to lie. I'm a
big Seventh Heaven fan.
I just,
That show, was Jessica Biel on that show?
Yes, she was.
Yeah, as opposed to what about Brian? That's the other show.
That's right. Yeah. What about it? It never went anywhere.
What about Brian? So, that's a whole different thing. So nonetheless, I agree with you, John, when you said the one thing I like about the show is outside of just grounding it instead of making it very CW like, it has shot really nice, beautifully, and Ava DuVernay, you can see her footprints and guidance on the way that things are done, the aspects of the camera, and I think it's a slow buildup. It's interesting that we talk about giving it a chance because I think all the people that are doing reviews have been very favorable with this show. It has a really good Rotten Tomato score of 89. But then the audience score is 54. And there's a lot of people, even on IMDb, I think it's like a low 4.6. And before we kind of go, I just want to get your thoughts. Like, do you think there's I like the pace of the show, but is it too slow? Again, I like slow movies. Like, I'm the guy that's like, cannot wait to watch a tragedy of Macbeth with Denzel and just watch it and just love and enjoy this. Again, Green Knight. So, John, do you think this episode, without going into it, there's not really a big fight action sequence? Like traditionally we see these CW shows and there's like people line up in the streets of downtown Vancouver in a line and they're like, haha, and they point like, we must battle each other, and then CGI affects what happened. This had really not the same level of conflict.
There's kind of like a thing that happens in the episode, so we're keeping it spoiler free.
Yeah.
But it's integrated in the storyline. So yeah, you're right. You don't get that big opening with people suiting up or superpowers or some random superpower villain or her doing something crazy at the end. So I guess that's kind of spoilery, but you don't get that establishing drop to kind of catch people. So I can see why maybe someone tuning in for a superhero show might be like, I'm out. But I think one of the main reasons is because there's so many superhero shows on now, and it's become the norm that everyone's probably just checking out every new superhero show that comes out, and this does not line up with those. So it's take it for what it is. And there might be some of the subject matter that causes some I don't know what you would call it, trolls or whatever, to pop up and just bomb things or whatever. So. I can see that happening for sure.
I don't think it's a bum. I just think this episode is not what you expect it to be. I don't
it's
know.
Story driven.
It's story. The marketing from it is just like, if you watch trailers, I was like, it's not sure how to promote it. Is it This
Yeah.
superhero
Do
show.
you think
does-
maybe they should have dropped 2 episodes like they do for a lot of
Yeah,
these other shows coming out now?
I
Rob's
think
like, no.
I think it's just one of those things where people are when they expect a DC show that's a CW show, you expect it to be like the rest of the DC shows.
Yeah.
And that's kind of one of those issues. But Rob,
I think so many things are dropping multiple episodes. I feel like it could have benefited from one more episode.
Rob,
Sorry, Stu.
your thoughts?
Oh yeah, no. Listen, I it's a story-driven show that John and yourself just said it. There's no action per se. It doesn't mean that there's not going to be, but I kind of found it a bit refreshing that it didn't follow the same formula that all these other shows that we've seen. The first episodes, even if you look at like Umbrella Academy or The Boys or something that is a bit more story-driven at first, there's still that big shit. Even that horrible Jupiter's Legacy show, there's something. The episode ends with a massive scale of a big superhero fight scene or something. This one doesn't have that. It sets up the character, her place in this world, with her family. It sets up the people around her, and it gives you the foundation. And it's a bit of a mystery. It's like, I don't watch Riverdale. I haven't seen any Riverdale. My son has watched it, but I kind of feel it has some of that same quality in that it's in for the long haul. It sets up a bit of a mystery, but before you set that mystery and hit that trap, you need to at least know who the players are. So I think it does it. I think it listen, it was enjoyable for me. I think the people who are review bombing it, to what John said, I think that there are some social.
There is no evidence of a review bomb before we say this. I think
no, I know, but the people, the people that are giving it negative, I think that there might be some people who don't like it because it's not a typical CW show. I think might be some people who don't like it because of the social awareness or aspect of it, and there are going to be some people who don't think it represents what the social aspect is going for well enough. So like, you can't appease everybody. At the end of the day, I like it. And I think it's worth a watch.
Okay. The woke social justice warriors, please don't attack me. I am not against this at all. I don't know what John and Rob are saying, but please find them.
What do you mean?
What do you mean?
What are we saying that's wrong? We're
Heroes
not.
World, and Rob can be found at the
Also Heroes World.
Not affiliated with you.
I'm not affiliated with
I go by my
guys.
stage name, Andre Greenridge.
I really enjoy this show. I don't know what these guys are talking about.
Shut up.
And the people that review and bomb, don't review bomb me, review bomb John. So please, John Ho Ho, please. Anyway, so we're gonna wrap this up. I think it's worth people's time to watch it. I think again, this is what we've talked about with Marvel. It's that doing something different. I think one of the things about DC that I appreciate but also hurts it is that because it's Elseworlds and there's no through line, there's going to be a bunch of weird things and different things for each episode, and we'll talk about this in our Peacemaker review. I'm glad it has this. I think having these different swings at superheroes will refresh the genre and make it something look different. I am concerned when people aren't gotta catch 'em all styles like Marvel that they're not going to get the same audience, but time will tell. Let's see what happens with Naomi, and hopefully it continues to grow without spoiling it. There is something interesting that happens at the end of the episode, so I would say if you are on the fence, totally recommend it. It is not your traditional fight show, so just strap in.
No, from the first episode.
and even the mystery stuff, it's not a lost mystery. It's not that much, because even then you don't even really know that it's a mystery till the last part of the episode. Like, you don't even know.
I think if you're a fan of Dawson's Creek, you'll probably really enjoy it.
Not even. No,
I got
out there.
I really got Smallville vibes from it. It did kind of transport me back into my Smallville days, which is pretty cool. Quick shout outs to the original comic book went for probably $3.99. It's worth about $80 on the high right now. And right the week that they aired this episode, according to Key Collector, it sold up to 525% more. Also, so everyone just unloaded their copies this week. So that's kind of interesting to see how many people cashed in on that $5 investment to make, I guess, $75. So interesting.
This is not an NFT. This is a for real thing that people's dropping. So it is what it is. John, where can they find you quickly on the internets?
Yeah. Heroes World online, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. Find us there. If you're listening on the audio Heroes World podcast, if you're on Spotify, you can now give us 5-star rating if you so choose to do. Help us out. Thank you everybody for always sharing all the time. And all those links will take you to our physical store as well. Links to that Heroes World in Markham, Ontario.
Awesome. Mr. Rob Godet, where can we find you on Mondays?
You can find John and I in the Heroes World Sidekick Show, 8 p.m. Mondays on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch. This Monday, it's 90s action showdown, throwdown with this bro down here. And we are kicking it off with Last Action Hero going up against Universal Soldier. So definitely tune in and find out which one advances in the bracket, which is the better action movie from the 90s.
Awesome. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for support. And we will see you on our next review. See you later. Bye.
Bye.